without Brandon Carlo, 3. Games we've lost in a row, 3. Huh. Interesting. Hello and welcome into Game 80 of the Bruins Fan Review. I'm Pat, and the Bruins got outplayed for the 3rd straight game. Count 1, 2, 3 straight games. We are absolutely limping towards the playoffs. But we're in the playoffs, which is, something that Florida might not be able to say. Gotcha. Anyway, what to say? 3 games without Carlo, 3 straight losses. Maybe he's a bigger part of our success than we realize. I don't know. Numbers, man. What do they mean? In the Atlantic, you'll notice that Tampa Bay has jumped us. They have row on us. Row is regulation overtime wins. Those shootout wins don't matter, and Tampa has more regulation overtime wins than us. We blew the games at hand that we had because, like they say, they only count if you win them. And guess what we haven't been doing? Winning them. If we win, obviously, this is a big if. We win all 3 games. 116. We're probably the President's Trophy or around that. Which Nashville clinched. There's another thing we can't get anymore. So, we're resting players right now, wouldn't have to worry about injuries. Carlo would still be injured, but, we'd be able to rest McAvoy, Char, and all of them. Tuca, we could play Hudobin more, but, that's a luxury we don't have because we, blown 3 straight games. And, we look gassed. We look tired. We do not look like the Boston Bruins of 2 weeks ago. Now, as I said in the last video, I'm not really worried about the playoffs. I'm more worried about getting to the playoffs. When you play tired, you're more likely to get injured, which may be what happened to Carlo. May have been too many games in a row. His body was feeling it. He just takes an awkward hit or awkward fall, and your body's just tired. It just is what it is. I mean, I've gotten injured because I've been tired before, and, it happens to the best of them. But, it's just a really crappy stretch here to review. But, review I shall, and congrats to Roberto Luongo for his 1,000th game of his career. I believe he's 3rd all-time in games played. He'd be up there with wins with Brodeur and Waugh and, all of them, but he played for Florida, the New York Islanders, and Vancouver. You should feel bad for him. Imagine if he went to a good organization. Not to say Vancouver wasn't good when he was there, but brief period when you really think about it, and almost a cup, but sorry, just a little bit better than you guys were that year. 1 game better. I think Marchand had 2 goals, Bergeron 1. I don't remember the other one, but all I know is we won 4-0, and you guys didn't show up in Game 6 either. Anyway, moving on. Bye, Sedines. I'm all over the place right now. Let's jump into the game because, just like the Bruins, I'm being a little bit sloppy right now. DeBrusque hits the post 1 minute in, and Sevier keeps it in the zone. Pass across to Ekblad. Oh, wait, I just combined 2 plays. The Sevier part, and then a few minutes later, I don't have the times here because I'm a little rushed. Sevier kept it in the zone. This is Florida's first goal. Pass across the zone to Ekblad. Ekblad down to Dadonov. Dadonov across crease. Beautiful pass by, Dadonov, or however you're going to say Dadonov. It doesn't matter. They scored. Beautiful pass. Nice finish by Barkov, who probably was the best player on the ice tonight, if we're being honest. That was a good hit by Colby Cave, though. Whew, that was big. Anyway, 1-0 Florida, and, by the way, the Bruins are, I think, 2-8 or 3-7 in the last 10 times they've gone down by 1, or they've let up the first goal, which, kind of matters a little, which we've been giving it up a lot lately. Vetrano, this is the next goal. Vetrano dump and chase, Tuca settles it, Chara takes it around the net, gets pressured by Bjugstad and Vetrano, and here's that sloppiness. Char just throws it right off Bjugstad's shin. Then Charlie McAvoy gets beat in a stick battle by Frank Vetrano. And he takes it around Tuca and puts it past him. And that's weak by Char and McAvoy. The pair was -2 tonight. Not a good look. They both look a little rusty, which, I'm giving them a pass because they're just coming back, but not their best performances. Both of them with bad-looking plays here. Anyway, the Bruins in the first would get one back, though. Bruins go to the power play. You know, that's how we're making our money these days, because at 5-on-5, we just can't skate with the other teams. Bruins go to power play because of Matheson hold on Krejci. On power play, about 10 seconds in, we get the face-off win. Marchand working his side as he does so well. You've seen it before. You've seen it a lot of times this year. Then pass the point at Krug. Krug shoots at Donato. It hits him like upper body, like here. He puts it down patiently for a rookie, too. Goes around the outstretched right leg of Roberto Luongo and puts him past him to make it 2-1. And another period we're outplayed, we're outchanced. Not a good look for the Bruins, not a good look for anyone on the Bruins, really. 2 minutes in to the second, Bruins take it in the zone. They lose it. Krejci forces turnover. DeBrusk picks it up. Short pass to Krejci. Krejci finds Heinen going down low on the opposite side. Good find by Krejci, and Danton Heinen beats Roberto Luongo blocker side. And I'm thinking, we're in business. We're tied 2-2. Heinen gets his 15th of the year. By the way, that was Donato's 5th in the first goal. 2-2 game. You're thinking momentum shift? Maybe? Not. I mean, like, we started to play a little bit better. But when you start your shift late, you're going to be behind on your work. And behind they were. It was kind of a tight game after this. A very chippy atmosphere. Panthers were the better team in carrying the play and had better opportunities up to that point. 6 minutes left in the third, though. It was very chippy and very even from that point on. Bruins trying to get it out of the zone. Jared McCann makes a good play to keep the puck in the zone. He immediately then goes to the front of the net. Puck gets to Sevier, who then finds Matheson at the top of the... I don't know, like he was near the blue line. Let's just say that. He then puts it towards the net. McCann tips it, bounces off the ice, and like a hard, like here's the ice, here's the puck. McCann's tip went down and up and past Tuukka. Not much Tuukka can do about that. The Bruins have to get it out of the zone. Sloppy in their own zone. 3-2 Florida with 5 to 6 minutes left. And when you don't got your legs, it's hard to do these comebacks that we've been accustomed to seeing in the cardiac kids known as the Bruins this year, it feels like. One thing that happened in between, I believe this is after the third goal for Florida, or is right before. My notes, I didn't have times. I've been very busy, so like this isn't my most detailed review. Barkov gets absolutely destroyed by Colby Cave, and is Colby Cave gonna gain a fan base here in Boston if he can lay hits like that out? He catches Barkov on the boards. Barkov kind of turns towards the boards. Very stupid and probably why he's hurt right now. Don't know how badly he's hurt, but he could miss time. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But he gets absolutely destroyed. I don't think they've released information on that either. They usually don't release that. Plus, I haven't got an update on my phone, so I'm assuming he's either not that bad or they just haven't released anything on it. Yeah, but besides that hit, we got a few decent looks, but we never really got anything close to going in. Panthers hold us off and lose again. 3 straight. Count them. 1 point in the last 3 because we forced Philly to overtime by the skin of our teeth. 3 straight games we've been outperformed. Rask was the player of the game for the Bruins. 32 saves on 35 shots. Good day for the guy from Finland. One of the few people with good days. I'll mention a few others. Luongo 26 of 28. Nothing spectacular because we didn't have the greatest chances, but Luongo gets the job done like he does. Solid goaltender. I like Luongo personally. I feel bad for teams that we beat. Like I like the Cardinals in the MLB because the Red Sox just kill them every time. I like Luongo because we killed Vancouver and I just kind of felt bad for them. But I don't really cheer for Vancouver. I do like Besser though. But I don't really cheer for Vancouver. I just kind of feel bad for them. But one thing to note is we were being outshot 25-14 after 2 periods. It was a rough start again when you don't got your legs. Shots on goal 35-28. Difference was made early, I said. 17-9 block shots for Boston, so we blocked 17 forward only to block 9. More shots against. You're going to have more opportunities. Dadonov has amazing hands. I've noticed that over the few games we've watched and reviewed of him. Dadonov is impressive. Barkov is a monster. You can make a good argument he's going to be better than Patrice and Brad in like 2 years from now. He might actually have the edge on Patrice now. I don't think he does though. But he's getting close to like Patrice Bergeron, if not like already surpassing him. He's not on Brad's level yet, but that's just to give you an idea of how elite of a forward Alexander Barkov is. Donato and Heinen get goals. You love to see those 2 players score. I do personally. Chara and McAvoy -2 on the day for plus minus. I already mentioned Not too worried. It's rust. Line juggling was weird. Donato played 4th, 3rd, and 2nd line tonight. He played mostly in the 4th, and I think he had around 10 minutes of ice time. So they're kind of cutting back on him, which makes me think they might take him out if we get fully healthy. Usually when you cut back on ice time like that, that usually shows that you don't have them in the plans for the near future. But I could be wrong. I hope I am, because he's putting up points, and we need points. Depth scoring is important, and he brings that if you can find a nice spot for him. First... and got power play line. He played power play time is what I'm saying. That's where some of his minutes came. And he scored. Kevin Miller had 5 blocks. Kevin Miller's been good lately. Kevin Miller has not been playing bad like most of the team, in my opinion. I think if you probably count goals against for defensemen on who's out on the ice, I think Kevin Miller's probably the least, but like, even if you don't like buy plus minus and all that, which I personally don't really either, I think it judges a unit, not an individual. If the eye test, Kevin Miller passes the eye test. I don't really believe in defensive metrics, but Kevin Miller passes my eye test. Another guy who had a decent night, Torrey Krug, 5 takeaways, which, there's a stat that can show it. Torrey Krug offensively hasn't been that good, but I don't good late the last 3 games. Let me scratch that. He's been great this year offensively. The last 3 games, not as much. I believe he got an assist tonight, so that's nice to see. But Torrey Krug had a little bit of a bounce-back game, one of the few people who did. Florida had 19 giveaways to 4, but I think that's because of how much they had the puck. Lou Luongo had 12 saves on his first 14 shots, but that was over 2 periods. 2 periods, keyword there. And then Rask saved 9 of his first 11. That's over 1 period. So to give you an idea, we had about the same amounts of shots as Florida in 2 periods as they did in 1. Not good. Rask was the best player on the team. I already went over that. Need to stop playing from behind. 67% of games in the NHL, the first team that scores wins. 67% of the time. We've been scored on first in the last 10 games. Let me restart that. The last 10 times we've been scored on first, we have only won 3 games. So that kind of almost equals that percentage I just said, 30%. And that's very close to what I said. You can't play from behind in this league. You will lose a lot. And if we play like that in the playoffs, which I'm not worried about, as I'll go over in a minute, but you can't do that in the playoffs. Blown opportunity to get first in the Atlantic. Another game where if we got more points, or points at all, we'd be looking a lot better going into these last 2 games. What should I say? I'll just go over the standings, and I'll look at the future, because, at the end of the day, we have to move forward, and we have to look to the future. So, I'm going to do it from this angle. I need to watch that coffee cup. Us and Tampa both have 2 games. We're both at 110. I'm not going to talk about the wild card because you can see it's an absolute mess. Somehow Florida's still in. Somehow Pittsburgh can drop to the second wild card, and it hurts my brain to think about. So, and I did a video on the playoff predictions for if we face any of those teams and Toronto. So check that out if you haven't. But I'm just going to talk about the Bruins and Tampa. The Bruins have Ottawa Saturday and Florida again on Sunday. Now, depending on how Philadelphia's game goes Saturday and Florida's game goes, I think it's today, which is Friday, or tomorrow, Saturday, I don't know. That game could mean nothing for Florida, and that I'm kind of hoping it doesn't if we're going to try to get first. If we lose on Saturday to Ottawa, might as well rest the players on Sunday because Tampa's probably not losing both. Tampa's 2 games remaining are against Buffalo and, wow, I don't have the other team that's written down. But Tampa plays Buffalo and I think Carolina. I'm going to go with Carolina. That sounds right. I think that's what I read. I forgot to type it on my notes. But as you can tell, neither of those teams are playing for anything, which is concerning. Tampa has everything to play for. Buffalo has a thing for beating good teams, but a motivated Tampa, you got to favor Tampa right now to win the Atlantic. And we're probably going to end up with this, which I've been wanting to avoid, because the Maple Leafs have been resting. You don't want a rested Maple Leafs team. A rested Maple Leafs team with a bad stretch going into the playoffs for the Bruins could equal out in 5, out in 6. I personally think that it won't be like that. I really think we can beat the Maple Leafs. I think our defense is better by a decent amount. Tuukka and Frederick, I think they cancel out. You just need to take away their speed. We have defensive forwards. I think we're not a bad matchup for Toronto. I think it's a very winnable matchup, but we could also lose to Toronto. It's really a flip the coin up in the air and hope it lands on the Bruins. There's really not much else for me to say except even if we don't get the first seed or we don't win the last 2 games, I want to watch a game where we're not being outplayed for 3 periods. Because the last 3 games, minus like the third periods of each games, it feels like we just haven't been competing, or like the other teams want it more, which is kind of true. The other teams we played have needed the games more. But that's no excuse to not at least be competitive the first 2 periods of every game. It's just a bad look. It's really not fun to watch as a fan. It's frustrating. But, you know, I feel like the younger players on the team just aren't getting up to play the games. And I feel like there's kind of like this, they're content with where they're at type of feel. And that's fine for these last 2 games. But if you keep that attitude going and you don't lose in the playoffs, we're going to have some issues. And I'm going to be doing some ranting on these reviews. I'm not a happy camper right now. I really wanted that first seed, and I don't think we're going to get it now. I wanted the President's Trophy. There's no chance Nashville's got that one. I don't know. I really don't want another first round exit. I'm a little nervous. But I really think the veteran leadership of this team should prevail, and I don't think we should be experiencing that this year. I'm going to end the video there. I thank you for watching. Hit like if you really like hit like if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like the video. Subscriptions help, so I really appreciate it. If you don't know how, Google it. It's there for a reason. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.